That way I can edit out later. I'll put a proper intro later on. But yeah. To give context in case I start recording here, Vivek, could you tell me a little bit about your theater friendly again?
About the theater set?
Yes. Firstly, let me ask you, how did it come about? Because it's like two people. Who approached whom?
So Vikas approached me because I bounced the idea very casually. I said, there should be something about this. Why not? I've not seen it anywhere. So he was like, hey, let's do it. I said, okay, let's do it. He was ready with his quads way earlier. I was the one taking time and postponing it because I was working on
How
other
long back
stuff.
was this?
This was about a month ago, I think.
A month ago. Shit, I feel very, like it was very sudden for me, right? So I was like, oh shit, Vikas has been working on something behind my back.
So then this happened, and then that's how it turned out. And this set is, if you know theater, if you have some inclination, or even if you don't know theater, I think you can figure most answers, and it's a lot of fun. I think. So yeah.
So, Vijay, are you making a friendly? Has Vivek badgered you into it?
Who?
I'm asking Subhajit. You've converted a lot of people. You know that, right?
Yeah, I'm making a friendly. I've got the date also. That date will be.
Subhajit has told me a date also, and he told me a Bollywood friendly that he's going to make.
Yeah, on 31st of March it is released.
Yes.
31st of March.
He's very dedicated like that, unlike other people.
Yeah, I've never heard that before. Friendly releasing on a specific date. That's insane. And that too a month away. Like itna planning.
No. I'm actually working on the Tale of Gen Z set, which is there.
Tale of Gen Z.
For MQF,
yeah.
So he's working
MQF.
I kind of assume, Subhajit, that you and I were the same age. How are you Gen Z?
That is what is a learning experience for me, na?
Okay.
I'm making this set with Ashwini, Piyush Kedia, and Dipanjan Dev. So it's a new learning sphere for me. Now I know, that's why I know a lot of stuff on TikTok and everything, helping me in other movies. The new learning experience.
I was telling Vivek, can you believe, so everybody who's joining right now, just to give you more context, we have 9 friendlies have been released in the last 4 days. 9 friendlies on the WhatsApp group. There are so many quizzes to be played. I've never been in a position that's like this, what do you call it, indulgent in terms of quizzing, which is
you should have waited for the lit set. Why did you release it right? I'm like, what to do? But
no way, why should you have waited? Actually, to space out your contributions, let people appreciate a little more. And I think you're past that point, Vivek. You have informed us that you are extremely prolific. And
no. If people play well and good, if they don't play, then well, they'll play later sometime. So
yeah. Oh, I was talking about that about this only to somebody. Before I start this, we will not be talking about the end of the wordplay set from Dhruv, because not everybody on this call will have played it.
Yeah.
So about the wordplay set, I wanted to write about it somewhere, just about how you feel after that set is over, because that feels pretty different from compared to most friendlies. But I realized that friendlies don't end. Weeks end, league games end on Sunday or on Monday. When we close the week, we can now talk about it. Friendlies, unfortunately, there's no end date. Therefore, I can't put out a post saying, hello, if you have played this set, then you can read this article. Otherwise, fuck off. That's not a very good conversion tactic. Okay, it is 10:05. Don't want people to listen to me chatter. So welcome to the week 2 retro. Wait, I'm just going to look at my own notes, which you can see as well. We go quad by quad in today's session. We're just going to go over the questions again. If you feel like discussing any of them, then we will. If we don't, then we won't. We'll go faster at times, slower at times. I'll be asking you guys to just reattempt your questions. If anybody from the Musketeers or Musketeers is available, then please step up and answer the questions. If nobody's available, then somebody else, I'll just ask you to volunteer. I will usually reach for the people that I know and like. Therefore, they will probably not get that angry with me. For example, I'll be reaching out for Vivek quite often and say, Vivek, just attempt all of them. Achyut is also here. He can't get that angry with me. And Shreya, she is here. She can't say much. So cool. Then 3 of you, and I'll keep adding more people as we go. The data is available. I'll make that available afterwards. Also, this whole format that I just described to you, which is we'll look at a quiz question and maybe we'll discuss, maybe we won't. If you want to add stuff, then you can. It can turn extremely indulgent, which is why this whole session will last exactly 60 minutes. At the end of 60 minutes, no matter how many quads we have left, we will stop. Okay. So that way we have a timeline and we can't possibly discuss too much. So we'll start. This is how the quads played out this week. You can see it's a very small text. Sorry about that. I'll tell you the highest ones. Pepsi has changed the game. That is, the cricket shots quad was naturally the most answered quad. If you're roughly the age that most people in the league are, then those ads were a very important part of the last couple of years. You've seen those ads a lot, which is why that is obviously a very, very answered quad. Lowest was the literary quad, the Hogarth Shakespeare series quad. Again, shouldn't be too surprising. A lot of those names were completely new to me. I had never heard those authors before. So again, not too surprising, but we'll get to those questions as we get to them. First, we'll look at New York Stock Exchange ticker symbols. Nobody got a musket in this, but there are quite a few musketeers. Is anybody from this list on this call? You have 5 seconds to call your name out. 5. Otherwise, Vivek, you are attempting the NYSE ticker symbol questions.
Okay.
First one, a ticker is a unique series of letters assigned to a company for trading purposes. Sotheby's is a prominent auction house in New York. What is their appropriate 3-letter ticker symbol?
Wait.
It is right. Did you get this?
No, I didn't, because I think there were people before me in my play who got it.
Okay. It's always nice to open the quiz with a relatively simple one and gives people some momentum. If your first question is an X, then you should crack a joke or something, because everybody's in a bad mood after that. Second question, until 2011, 4-letter ticker symbols were not available. What was the first registered 4-letter ticker symbol?
And of course, this was LinkedIn LNKD. At that time, I didn't even know what MSFT stood for. I remember asking you that, and you told me Microsoft. So
yeah, I figured. So quite a lot of people figured out Microsoft. You know what the most common wrong guess was?
LKDM.
Link.
No, the company is was not guessed that often. The most common one was somebody saying Nike, not Nike. They said Skype. Everybody tried to turn that into 4 letters.
Also somebody guessed Skype.
Yeah, because you think Microsoft acquisitions and everybody for some reason reached for Skype, but LinkedIn also valid answer. Third question, Vivek. What is Harley Davidson's symbol?
Hog, right? I didn't know this, but I got to know later.
Very nice. And fourth question, what 4-letter symbol replaced a 2-letter one?
So I don't even know what's a 2-letter one, but this is apparently Meta, so, or META, so.
Correct. So most quizzes that I read, actually, I'll say every single one of the quizzes that I read, this was answered on the direct. However, if you look at the data, it says that Meta was answered 74%, which means that there are 20, and you see that it was asked 66 times, but answered 49 times, which means there were certain passes. In fact, a fair number of people passed. However, all the quizzes that I saw them got answered on the direct. It just shows you that you actually get to see a very small sample of everybody's quizzes, even if you try to read a lot. I try to read a lot of games, and this is completely opposite to my own experience, which I thought
I was one of the people. In fact, it was my direct, and I passed it.
Yeah, me too, Sriyashi. I also passed this.
It was simple for a lot of people, but not simple for everybody. So 73 questions of Vogue. Anybody wants to attempt this? Ajit, questions of you. Who was slightly embarrassed to explain that she said Mother Teresa in the winning answer to who is the most influential living woman back in 2000, and she wrote a book called Unfinished. Who is this?
I'm audible, right? Yeah,
Yes.
Priyanka Chopra.
It's correct. Did you say Priyanka Chopra or Priyanka Jonas in the quiz?
No, it's actually Sean got this in my match. Yeah,
that's nice. Second question.
So there is
yes.
There is a funny anecdote related to Priyanka Chopra, and she keeps making these goof ups. So basically, Bono of U2 was in conversation with Priyanka Chopra, and he asked her that, what's the rock music scene in India? So Priyanka Chopra said that yes, we have movies like Rockstar and Rock On.
Ayyo.
Actually, second question for you. Who said that you wanted Meryl Streep to play her in a Broadway musical?
Anna Wintour.
Correct. Arguably already played by Meryl Streep once.
Yeah.
Third question. Who said that she preferred being called Lady? We even gave the name of the song. I'm sorry about this. And who said that she watched horror movies to relax?
Yeah, this is Lady Gaga.
I haven't checked this, but I believe Lady Gaga is the most common answer in all seasons of B612 so far.
I wanted to say, like, I think like Lady Gaga is like a go-to artist for you guys.
Yeah, it's not intentional. It has just happened. You know, like
Lady Gaga is this season's Dua Lipa.
Yeah, you evaluate chords on their own merit, and you don't think about whether the answer itself has come before. But yes, we have apparently asked Lady Gaga many times.
Also, Weird Al a lot of times.
Yeah, Weird Al is also. Somebody told me before this season started that he was trying to convert his friends to sign up for B612, and those friends said, "Listen, I want to play, but mere se aur rap chords nahi honge. I will not be able to do more rap chords. I cannot take a rap chord every week." And I felt really bad because that was clearly me. Okay. So this season we might dial down the rap a little bit. Question for Ajit. Shot in a theater who stated that her hit somewhat eponymous show came from the cynicism that she felt in her 20s, relatable character, touch of female rage, murder hair.
This is Phoebe Waller-Bridge.
Is correct. In a quiz that I read, somebody figured out Fleabag and Killing Eve, but could not remember the name.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, same thing happened to me also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think General Fleabag is as a name, a lot more people would be familiar than maybe like the creator's name might miss. You might see it, but you might not. It might not stick in your mind.
Yeah, right. And unless you start watching like talk shows or something, there's no reason to remember the name, the creator of a show. You would just consume the show.
But she's also the star of the show.
Yeah, exactly.
Good point. Fleabag, she is the star.
And when you like a show, you start reading about it, right? And when you read about Fleabag, you get lots of other stuff in your head.
You just explained how every obsession will eventually bring you back to quizzing only, because if you read enough, it'll turn into enough things, and then
you'll get a quad.
So another credit for Phoebe Waller-Bridge is she's the voice of that I don't know, robot in Star Wars. Solo. There was,
Which one?
The Solo movie?
Solo, the young Han Solo, there was a movie on Star Wars movie. There is a robot which dies. So Phoebe Waller-Bridge is the voice.
The one with the English
accent.
spoilers
though.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That was Phoebe Waller-Bridge. Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
And of course, not actually the first, but popularly known as the first woman writer of the James Bond series.
Yes. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
I'm going to keep going. For waving, who wants to try the quads? Sayashi? Oh, thanks for volunteering, Sayashi.
Yeah.
Question for you. In American Sign Language, the sign for hello is done by doing this symbol. If that is the formal way, what is the commonly used and recognized informal way?
Waving.
Waving, right? So I think that it just comes down to it looks kind of like a wave, and therefore you probably end up doing that anyway.
Deceptively simple. I overthought this and I couldn't get that.
I happened to a lot of people. And,
I answered this quiz. Herman was reading it, and I answered it.
Oh, poor guy. So Vijay said it's this, and I said, okay, yeah. So can I prompt you? He's like, hi, and then he wouldn't say the word, and I couldn't give it. So.
So did you give it to him or not?
I didn't. I have mixed feelings about it. I feel like it could have.
But remember, Herman, in one experimental quad you had done,
we did
everything
non-verbal.
it was had to be done with gestures.
In case somebody hasn't played that, between season 3 and 4 or 4 and 5, I forget which one, but we released a friendly. It's called the Timur friendly. Rajat and I did it together, and there was one quad with non-verbal answers. So please try that.
I think it is Nidish. Nidish who did it.
Oh yeah, Nidish and I. Sorry, Nidish, for completely invalidating your existence there. I thought it was with Rajat. It was Nidish and I released the chord together, and it had a chord of non-verbal answers. So there were certain gestures you had to do at the camera, which is something you can only do in a friendly, unfortunately. Question for Shashi. This variant of waving has been described as having fingers cupped and forearms swing side to side. What is it called in the USA? Okay.
Miss America wave or the pageant wave.
Did you get it right?
No, I actually did. I was the one actually I got that. In our I played
Yes.
with the
It was your question, right, Ron?
Yes. I got
We were in the same game.
I stole the place. Yeah, I stole the
Supposedly,
question.
it's a comfortable way of waving if you have to wave for a very long period of time. So this is quite
Yeah.
effective.
Yeah, this
So just a bonus question on that. So if you put your hands together, both your hands, if you do the waving motion, what is it called in India? So it's
Babaji Kit. Oh, no, put your both hands together. Okay, that one.
Nagin
Sorry,
dance.
Vivek.
Nagi the Jew. Oh, Rama.
This is going to take us 2 hours, guys.
Somebody
Yeah,
is doing that.
Here's the question for you. In which country would this be considered an insult? It's called a Mauza. It traced back to the Byzantine Empire's penal code.
Greece.
This is right. If you were a reader for this question, many people start insulting you during the quiz. So they'll be like, and
actually, sorry. Even in where I come from, because I'm part Sindhi, in Sindhi also, if you do this, it's a sign of a curse. Actually.
A curse.
Oh,
Like
Oh.
But
what is the curse?
The hand, so yeah.
What is the curse?
The curse is like may like something befall you, may misfortune befall you.
Okay.
Oh,
you will be bad at business.
Question for Sriyashi. William and Arthur Blank. Who are these two names? And they often used together in this context.
Harley and Davidson.
It's correct. Didn't see a single person get this wrong, but
Yeah.
if you check the percentage, it's not high. So again, we are only experiencing a minority of the quizzes. Anyway, the gradient is also nice. I define a nice gradient by just if L1 is higher than L2. I don't even look at the gaps because this seems like a very difficult thing to do. So as long as the L1 is easier than the L2, then the L3, then the L4, then it's a good gradient. We'll get that also wrong multiple times. So don't worry, it's not a low bar. Next one, Subrat has a musket for this. Yeah. Well done, Subrat.
So go on.
He sent me a very emotional bit of feedback after the quiz was over, that he was so happy about this because he said, what exactly did you say?
I told that in India, it has become in mimid and everything. We know more about African instruments than we know about Indian instruments. So it's very good that Indian instruments are getting a place in a mimid.
It's true. Indian music doesn't get represented that often. This is the quad that I've been thinking about. Any question for Subhajit? Jayaprada Ramamurthy is India's first female player of which instrument? Basics of Blank. I have a story about this, by the way, first female instrument. We'll get to that. She authored a book called Basics of Blank. And it's the first of its kind. 95% of India's exports of this instrument come from Pilibhit.
I did not have the understanding from the name. I need from Pilibhit. So Pilibhit is Bansuri Nagar and this is flute.
Yes, correct. And about the first female player thing, one of our players, she wouldn't be on the call. Anupama, are you here by any chance? I don't think you are. No, she's not. She sent us a mail later saying there's no question of this person being the first female professional player. I knew someone, my grandmother's sister, something, she gave the relation. I will be sharing details about this in tomorrow's post. And she gave us the name and an online profile of somebody who was India's first professional flute player, not Jayaprada Ramamurthy, but a legitimate personal connection to the person who should have been mentioned in this question, but wasn't. So I thought it was very nice that we got a personal discovery out of this, and this will probably result in a TL for a lot of people because I doubt you would know about these people. But yeah, the question said first female player. There's actually somebody else, and the whole story to that.
No, first female player in classical Carnatic music. Maybe it still makes sense.
Yeah, I think
it's possible. I think there might be a mistake anyway, but we'll.
No, Anupama Srirangan's ancestor would probably be from the Carnatic music scene.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't know her last name, so no idea.
Okay. Question for Sujit again. Anuradha Pal is a multi-percussionist and music composer from Mumbai. She's the first professional female player of which musical instrument? Also an essential instrument in the devotional traditions of Sikhism during Kirtan.
Just if you look at the picture, it looks like she's playing a tabla.
Exactly. That was the big clue there.
Yeah.
This is what I wrote in the feedback as well.
I saw the feedback. I was actually, this was part of the appeal of the question for me when I saw it. I thought, okay, the photo does show you she's playing the instrument, but you need to figure it out. So not everybody picked up on the image, and I thought that was a very nice way of giving some extra information that if you look at the image, maybe it'll strike you that it's actually just a tabla. So,
and one more thing is this devotional traditions of Sikhism was a major red herring. A lot of people went with dhol or drums of that kind.
Yeah, because I think there is a reason for that, because dhol is sort of so there is a beat called the karwa, which is what is played in the dhol, and that is sort of associated with a lot of the bhangra music. So I think somewhere people are making that connection. And
correct, exactly. So it was a nice.
have dhol
on Doordarshan when she was a very young girl and with bobbed hair. There used to be a lot of interviews of Anuradha Pal on Doordarshan. Yeah.
I'd like to add something over here for the tabla question. Now, I wrote down something because I didn't want to get this wrong. So firstly, many in the setting team did warn me before the week started that this was going to happen, that the Sikhism clue was going to mislead people. I did end up sticking to what I thought was the right thing to do. I would like to tell you why.
No, I'm not saying it was misleading. I was just saying very nicely phrased.
I'd like to finish this. This is firstly upfront. I'm not invited to debate right now. We will be here all day. Okay. So we won't linger on this question any longer. I just want to share how I felt. So a lot of people have told me that they felt misled by the Sikhism clue. Now, this was a confusing statement to me because I did not see how a statement that is objectively true can draw you away from an answer. But turns out it can. Okay. And this is my theory for how. Now, a lot of people who know that the answer is tabla, they consider it a very relatable, very known instrument. You recognize a tabla, it is within your purview. Okay. But when they see the word Sikhism, it makes them think that the answer needs to be more exotic than that. Okay. So they went for something else.
Exactly.
Now, this I would like to clarify. This was not done with malicious intent. Nobody was trying to confuse you. We added the clue because it helps some people. Okay. The percussion narrows it down to harmonium and tabla, which is the only two instruments used in Sikh Kirtan. If it confused you,
harmonium is not a percussion instrument.
Correct. Yeah. So multi-percussion narrows it down. So it's harmonium and tabla. Once again, clarifying, not inviting debate right now. There are two instruments that are important, tabla and harmonium, and the percussion narrows it down to tabla.
Correct.
Like I said, if it confused you, it might be a result of other biases.
No, it's mostly
it should be considered a fact learned. Now, I will address this further in tomorrow's post, but right now consider that minority communities can be mentioned in a question without there being a deeper agenda to it. It was just a clue, not much else.
Okay. If I may clarify one small thing, then we can move on. I did not mean to say that there was any misdirection here. I just meant it was very nicely stated, and it unnecessarily made people it made people think that there was more to it when they could have, if they'd known the actual minority communities' traditions, they could have got it easily. That's what
correct. This is true for all facts. I'm again repeating this. No debate today. Okay.
Fine.
This is I've spent a lot of headspace
not
on this
debate,
in the last
but
7 days.
On a lighter note, who thinks a dhol is played during Kirtan, man?
So a lot of people have very confidently said, "Oh, it made me guess dhol. It made me guess pakhavaj." Like, this is hard for me to even process hearing this information.
And the fact that it gives you played with the tappa.
The fact that that you are that upfront about sharing these bad guesses is also a little bit difficult to hear. So keep those guesses to yourself for now. An objectively true fact should not draw you away from the correct answer. If it does, consider it a fact learned. Okay.
Correct.
That's it.
I understood. Yeah.
Question for Subrat. Shah Rani, nicknamed Blank Rani, was one of the first women instrumentalists of India and among the greatest musicians of the 20th century. Fill in the blank with a fretless stringed instrument.
The fretless string instrument is Shah Rukh.
Is correct. Question for Subrat again. This conference turned out to be a big one. The reason was Ranganaika Amal, who was the only woman among 23 musicians and the first to make it big, playing which musical instrument? The primary percussion instrument.
It's a mridangam.
Is correct.
This is my correct.
There were some people who guessed ghatam.
Correct.
Which is also there, but
it's not the primary percussion instrument.
Not the primary.
That's what.
Yeah.
Question for Achut. The first known heavenly, Achut, I went ahead with you anyway without really looking for the volunteers. Sorry about that. What are these celestial objects? Van Marin 2 was the first one. 5,284 such objects have been discovered.
Yeah, so this is exoplanets. Kiran's there, so maybe
Kiran's there. Sorry about that. Yeah. Kiran,
hey, no worries. No.
Achut,
you can carry on.
I refuse.
No.
Musketeer has to take precedence.
Okay.
I think the only thing I'll add is these couple of weeks back, I was looking into these. There are these for exoplanets. There are these survey projects which you as citizens can take part in. Basically, from these Hubble telescopes and so on, there's a lot of data they download, and you need to sort of observe these patterns and then try and. So basically, in short, you can contribute to the discovery of more exoplanets from the data that we record. Yeah,
like SETI.
So I was actually looking into trying to take part in some of these projects somewhere, but I didn't get this question. I talked myself out of exoplanets.
But see, if you don't
about-
mind, yeah, afterwards I'll get in touch with you with to get info about these projects.
Eric, you were saying something?
Yeah, just one thing about this is that when you spell it out, it's like extrasolar planets should be an acceptable answer, just in case this comes up again.
Okay.
Actually, that was the answer I gave, and my quiz master or reader accepted that.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, same.
Question for Kiran again. The habitable zone is described, and then right at the end we gave the 19th century English fairy tale also.
Yeah,
and then we said too old, not too hot,
exactly.
not too cold.
It's a Goldilocks zone.
It is Goldilocks. We could have stopped the question around here, and people would have still gotten. But yeah.
Right.
Question for Kiran. What two-word term refers to the phenomenon where one object revolving around another gets fixed?
Tidal locking.
பாப்போம் அது எங்க கிடைக்கிறதோ நமக்கு நல்லது அவ்வளவுதான்.
Need to mute someone. Who do I need to mute?
Okay.
Sorry. Okay.
அது தெரியாது எனக்கு. அதெல்லாம் கேரண்டில பண்ண முடியாது. அவர் பண்ணி கொடுக்கறேன்னு இருக்கார். சோ
Siddharth.
இந்த மாசம் இன்னும் முடியலையே. இந்த மாசம் வந்து
There we go. Okay. Sorry, I accidentally muted some other people while trying to mute him. If I accidentally muted you, please unmute yourself. Gravitational blanking is a method of detecting exoplanets. It makes use of the effect that an object of sufficient mass between a distant light source and an observer bends. Kiran, where are you? Yeah, see, you're one of the people I muted. Sorry, Kiran.
Kiran, you were answering, you were not audible.
Yeah.
Unmute.
Lensing.
Lensing is right. Thank you.
Which one was the...
Yes. Okay. In literature, Vivek, you want to take this? No, Shashi. Anybody else wants to volunteer?
I would love to.
That's fine. Let's add Vivek, man.
That's also because I was quite.
I know. It's fine. You can be in 2 teams in this quiz. It's the only one I know you can do this.
Be in every team, Vivek.
Wait, is Shankar here? Because then he should get
Shankar, I don't know.
Oh, Shankar gets a.
No, Shankar is not here. Oh, but he got a musket though. First question: which Scandinavian thriller writer is part of the Hogarth Shakespeare series? Yes.
June Esbo.
Vivek was very nice enough to tell me during the first quiz of the week when I said creator of the recurring character Harry Hole in a series of books, and he said to me very nicely, "Okay, listen, I know you're going to be reading a lot, so it's Harry Hole, not Harry Hole."
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And also, I think Joe Nesbo is probably pronounced Yo Nesbo.
Yeah. There's an umlaut on O there.
Yeah.
Okay. Question for Vivek. As part of the Hogarth Shakespeare series, which author released the novel New Boy as the contemporary retelling of Othello, a best-selling book came out in 1989? Correct. Many people I know got this bit but didn't remember the author's name. So
yeah,
common stopping point. Question for Vivek. Yeah, it would have happened to me too, honestly. I would have read that last word and said, go with Pearl.
I remembered Paula Hawkins, but I couldn't remember Tracy Chevalier.
Edward St. Aubin.
Correct. And this is supposed to be an L4 and it did act like an L4. However, I knew the answer, and I very rarely know the answer to any L4 question, but I knew this one because of a Benedict Cumberbatch series.
Yes, there is Benedict Cumberbatch.
Cumberbatch series I knew and everything. I did not.
Is this a BBC version or ITV?
In a game I read, also somebody got this answer precisely because of that.
And
it's a lovely show. It is.
I ended up listening to one of the audiobooks, the first Patrick Melrose book, which has also been read by Benedict Cumberbatch.
Oh, I see. Nice.
One of my favorite audiobooks is Kafka's Metamorphosis by Benedict Cumberbatch, and he was so good that I went looking for other things that he had read, and that's how I came across this.
Sherlock Holmes. He reads Sherlock Holmes. Pretty good.
Question for Vic: which Canadian author has won 2 Booker prizes? This is probably to like Lady Gaga is to B612. Margaret Atwood is to Vivek's lit sets, I think. Has been the answer to about 17 questions.
and that's why it hurt even more that I lost a musketeer on this.
Yeah, poor guy, he lost a musket on this because somebody else got Margaret Atwood.
Oh, just miss.
Because of all the lit sets, Vivek, blame yourself.
I've noticed this just little bit of learning that you get from quads afterwards. If you see a lot of muskets in a topic, okay, it means that you've taken a niche topic and you asked 2 easy questions. Okay, so something that some people know a lot about, right? That's how you get lots of muskets. If you see lots of miskits, like a long line. We'll see that in one of the Pepsi quads, I think, the cricketing shots. So if you see a lot of people missing a musket, that's because one question was disproportionately easy. So Vivek, for example, knew all of it, but that one question somebody else stole. So that's how you get a lot of miskits.
Nice.
UN flag family wants to try. We have Murthy, no? Murthy's here.
Yeah.
Murthy is here now, so let Murthy try it.
Murthy, first question. The UN flag family includes these UN Wala flag elements. Which country? It got independence from Ethiopia and it retained the olive branch.
Eritrea.
Eritrea, right?
Just independence from Ethiopia was just Eritrea.
The flag of which country adopted in 1960 is part of the flag family? It uses 2 olive branches and it has the outline.
This is Cyprus. So
correct.
This was the one question I think that didn't come to me.
Oh, just
Aaron is here, right? So Aaron didn't like the fact that Cyprus's outline was given in the question.
The flag is too much. I made it way too easy. The Cyprus flag. Yeah.
Too easy.
It's a giveaway. Yeah, I already figured it out even before the question is read. We figured it out.
It's like the Cisco question from last week, where the logo is enough. You don't need the extra text.
Exactly.
The question doesn't need to be there. The logo is
But
enough.
that said, I had some people struggling. So they must be from the non-IT background.
Yeah. And
Okay,
I mean,
this
honestly,
one I actually got, but I'll let the others. Okay, the ones. Okay, I got this. I got this one actually. Okay, I'll let them answer it.
I mean, you can answer if you want to. You can answer if you want to, Aaron. Okay, Murthy, just give me an answer, please.
Yeah, this is Somalia.
Somalia is right.
Okay, sorry, I didn't catch it. Okay.
Yeah, that's
I'm a
okay.
bit sleepy. It's already almost midnight here. That's why.
Oh, it's very nice of you to attend this. Thank you. Question for Murthy. The flag of which Central Asian country is not recognized as part of the UN flag family, except for these things at the bottom?
Turkmenistan.
Is correct.
So this question is mostly a Central Asian crapshoot. So all the Istan.
Exactly. That's what happened.
Try enough stans and you will get it eventually.
Having done 3 or 4 years of Asia sweep, you just know all the Central
exactly.
Asian flags.
That's what I was. That's what my opinion was. So Asia sweep, you will know all the flags of.
Okay, it's time for somebody's favorite quad. I hope there's at least one person because this is the divisor. Is anybody here? Any from this list?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, someone got a musket also. Impressive.
Yeah, Nishan got a musket, which is I think quite difficult because
someone or the other will get one. Yeah.
It has a couple. If you've seen, like, if you have a usual group, at least one person in that group will have watched all 4 movies and they'll probably get it. So, anyway, who wants to try this? So, Vijit, I think you will enjoy this.
Yeah, surely. I'll try.
First question: in which film is Shah Rukh Khan? This is one of my favorite things about these questions. Is he killed by the antagonist despite the film's title? He doesn't rest in peace.
Oh, this is Om Shanti Om, and I already answered this in my.
Wait, I want to decode something Herman said. What do you mean? Why it's your favorite question? Why?
Shah Rukh Khan.
Sorry, I didn't say no. This part.
Question.
This part of the question. So when it was submitted, when it was submitted to me, and I read the first question, I think a lot of people saw the and assumed typo. And then the second question comes up and you see again, and I think, oh, that's where this is going.
No, I had one quizzer ask me, why are you reading the isn't that a typo? I'm like,
did you clarify?
You have to figure it out.
Oh, okay. It's an interesting question, and the readers have to decide how much information they give back by saying, "Duh, it's not a typo." Pay attention to it.
No, that was said by the other players. They said, "Duh, it's not a typo. There are 2 Shah Rukh Khans in that."
Okay. So, Vijit, later it was revealed that Shah Rukh Khan didn't actually die in the hospital. He was poisoned by, he did die in the hospital. He was poisoned by diazepam by the lead character Mark Donald, played by, too many spoilers. Which movie?
Dawn, the first one.
Correct.
No, the second one, actually.
First one.
The first one is Amitabh Bachchan's.
Oh,
Hello.
No, this one is also called Dawn.
There are 2 Dawn movies.
Hello, there is only one Dawn.
Okay. Yeah, that's Shah Rukh. Thank you.
No.
This is the definition of what we shouldn't be talking about. No.
Okay, no problem.
This is yes.
I was hoping that I will get this, but out of the blue, JK answered this. This is Karan Arjun.
So I saw Subrat like clawing towards a musket, and I thought, okay, he'll get it because this is and one of the harder questions, I would say. Like this is
correct.
like Karan's a little slightly older movie, so you know fewer people
90s,
have
no?
watched it. Yeah.
Surely
Like,
just my case in the next question this happened to me. Go on.
Which man? Oh yeah, this is I suppose slightly even harder for some people, I suppose. Which movie has a Shah Rukh Khan smiling while falling to a voluntary death?
Yeah,
Face it,
this
man
was
will
very
find it
hard for me. I
valid.
didn't even heard of this movie.
Again, too old or too new is hard for different people.
This is fan, Jabra fan.
Okay, and yeah, because I was so happy with the chord itself, I thought it might be idea to good to put in a little message that explain the chord on the off chance that some readers don't. But yeah, this is one of the Dhruves, by the way. The chord is by Dhruv Mukherjee, who is friendly as you've been playing a lot. Time for the Butler Did It. Are there anybody from this list who is present on the call? No. Okay. No, nobody did well in this. In this, nobody got 3 out of 4.
There's one question that was my direct. I do not know how many people got that.
Okay. Somebody wants to volunteer?
I will.
Nice. Subrat, Kiran, and who else is in multiple teams? No, nobody.
Vivek.
Vivek is also multiple teams. Yeah. The Butler Did It. Which Canadian indie rock band was Will famously a part of?
So I found out the answer was Arcade Fire, and I've been listening to their music ever since. It's been a nice discovery.
Yes, this is Arcade Fire. I was in one of the few quizzes. How many people got Arcade Fire? 16 people got it, which is not a low number. I thought it would be lower than that because most of the quizzes that I read, people couldn't answer this. Pat got it. So Pat was in one of the quizzes that I read and he got Arcade Fire. Question for Kiran. Who is this? He led his warriors on screen into a legendary battle.
Gerard.
Is correct. Did you decode all of them or just the first one?
I decoded the first 2 and then I just went with it. Yeah.
At what point did you realize what this means? The Butler Did It.
With the second question, actually. With this question. The first one had me going around in circles. I couldn't make out what was happening.
Correct. It just says text. It just says Butler Did It, and the answer is like about a band, so it's not very evident. Third question. What is her first name?
I answered wrongly here. I went somewhere else, but yeah, Josephine Butler.
You guessed though?
Like, I guessed. I guessed. Yeah, but I went the wrong way. I gave the wrong answer.
So how come you used up a bonus attempt for this? This was like strategically not a great decision, no? Like
I agree. I sometimes have brain fades.
Okay. Murthy is asking what Butler Did It is a reference to. I think just to the trope of the butler being the
trope of all the what you say.
He's the murderer or whatever.
Murder investigation kind of thing.
Yeah.
Detective novels.
Detective novels.
Exactly.
Everyone is classes.
Sorry?
I actually got this one.
Question for Murthy again. Sorry, for Kiran again. Which Southeastern team is this that lost the finals to their former star LeBron James?
This is Miami Heat.
Is correct.
So one interesting thing happened with this. I just finished reading a quiz now where this happened. The quizzer guessed Miami and then said Miami Dolphins.
Oh,
no, that's NFL.
I'm like, Machi, no, you all lost it.
Well, in my case, we follow basketball here. That's why it's easy I was able to get that.
Yeah, I noticed that a lot of people who even don't follow basketball, because of this little thing, were able to guess some LeBron James team, right? Okay. And it already says Lakers. So if you don't follow basketball, but you maybe seen him in a Cleveland jersey or something, then you can guess. Again, I know that there are
few. In my case, I don't follow basketball at all. And from the first clue, I had thought it might be Milwaukee Bucks. But I didn't take a guess.
I already figured it out when I saw the first few lines.
Yeah, if you follow basketball, then you answer
that's enough.
Right,
that's enough.
So
exactly.
So at Jimmy Buckets, you know which team he's playing for. So
correct.
Okay, let's stick to the current teams unless anybody wants to volunteer. This is
the next slide.
No, Josephine was much harder than it was.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you.
Very happy to be among 5.
Okay, Vivek, Subrat, and Murthy, despite being common in drinks since the Middle Ages, salmonella scares in the 1980s caused many to revalue the use of which cocktail ingredient?
Eggs, egg whites, egg yolks.
Egg yolks.
Nice.
Being quite generous with this, any form of egg is acceptable. This is a misleading one, I suppose you could say. A liquor known as creme de blanc was used as the core ingredient in aviation cocktail. It gives it a distinctive color. What item of flora does the liquor use to obtain this color?
Violet.
Violet.
Anybody on the call who
So-
got this right?
No.
No.
I think a lot of people guess creme de menthe.
Yes,
And it's
Yes,
exactly.
green in
quite a lot
color,
of people
so-
say creme de menthe. So it's because you know that one, you know the creme de menthe exists. So you think that, and it kind of fits the other one because mint maybe gives it a green color. And green is sufficiently contrasting to blue. So it fits in all the clues. So mint is too good a guess to not try, but turned out to be violet. Named for a town in Venezuela, it was invented by a soldier in Simon Bolivar's army. Which ingredient used in old-fashioned and Trinidad South?
Angostura bitters, which I in a sleepy haze answered Angora bitters.
Oh, did you get? Was the reader kind enough to prompt you?
Nope.
Nice, good.
Ayyo.
So I have something to share on this. I got Angostura right.
Oh,
I said Angostura. I got a prompt. I couldn't finish the thing,
oh,
and then Anup picked it up, and I was that's kind of sad
why?
about it. Then
How did that happen? Though? How does one?
After getting Angostura, you
I am actually I don't drink, so I have no idea about most of these
Okay.
drink questions. So
Okay.
that's
And
one
fourth
reason.
question,
But yeah,
which-
it would have been that was the difference between winning and coming second on this one.
Oof.
Nice.
Which orange flavored liquor used in cocktails like Cosmopolitan, Long Island iced tea, and Sidecar? It's for either the French word for dry or the number of orange.
Number
peels
of
used
orange
in-
peels was the giveaway.
Triple
This
sec.
this one I knew 4 orange flavored liqueurs. One of
Oh
which
my
is Blue
God.
Curacao, which doesn't fit. I knew Grand Marnier, I knew Cointreau, and I didn't remember triple sec.
Oh, bad luck.
Oh, you have too many options. We have only 2.
Too many.
I remember this. Somebody once explained a question saying that this is an easy question, isn't it? There are only 2 Dutch painters from the 15th century that you know. I'm like, no, I don't know any Dutch painters from the 15th century. So it's a very different question for me than it is for you. Okay, question for Achut, Kiran, and Sujit. When embarking
Can I
upon a
just say
theatrical
one thing,
production.
please, before you
Yes.
begin?
Yes.
I think this is my most favorite quad in a lot of leagues, in the sense that I love the way this was framed.
Which quad?
This one is the
Theater
glossary of.
rehearsal.
I can guess
Amazing
it.
one. I agree with
I thought it was
Ajit.
very well
Amazing.
done. And
excellent
if you're on the call, thank you for writing this.
Is he on the call?
Who wrote
Yeah,
it?
he is.
Who wrote
Who
it?
is on the call?
Dhruv
Yeah,
is
yeah,
on
I
the
know.
call. He's on
Yeah,
the call.
yeah.
So just
Here.
let him know
Oh,
the
Dhruv.
appreciation.
This was
Oh,
a fabulously framed
Dhruv.
quad.
Yeah. Amazing.
Connecting all of
Amazing.
them to quizzing. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Completely
This was
agree.
really-
So there was a lag in my screen, so I thought Sierra was talking about the cocktails. So
No.
First,
I'm
you're
talking
naming 4
about-
liqueurs.
I'm
Now
talking
you're
about
saying how you
cocktails.
love the cocktails.
Yeah.
I could tell by how emphatically he was saying it that it had to be the glossary of theater and quizzing because I agree it is one of the best things I've seen in a music quiz ever.
It's
Excellent.
It's
amazing.
After Shah Rukh Khan, of course, Dhruv, not to take away from
Ayyo.
Yes, please.
Shah Rukh Khan, I got my own
Shah-
question. I didn't know any of the other ones.
Vivek, do you know who made the Shah Rukh Khan quote?
Dhruv, of course. Who else?
It's always.
I'm surprised Vivek didn't volunteer to read it before Shuvjit.
Okay,
so
somebody help me out with these.
I think let Eric answer. Eric got a
We're going to do that. Okay.
Mukherjee
Sure.
calling Mukherjee.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, when embarking upon a theatrical production, rehearsals begin with cast members sitting around and using the script as a reference, and they get comfortable with the script. What simple one-word name refers to the stage of rehearsals? The word cold precedes it when referring to the very first time. Incidentally, the same word is an indispensable part of running mimic quizzes.
Read.
Yes, right. Cold read is what actors do before a play. Second question. At some point, they're fixing actions and movements on stage. The term for this process comes from the practice of using little wooden blanks on a miniature set. Incidentally, the same word is used to quizzing to refer to an act relating to hints.
Blocking. But what is the quizzing reference to blocking? I didn't understand that.
You block a hint.
hints.
Okay. That was actually confusing for
That's
me.
very Indian quizzing specific.
Of course.
Oh,
of
yeah,
course,
I
of
never
course.
heard of that either.
Yeah. No, this.
I didn't. I got
this
it
is-
confused.
So usually the quizmaster says, if no one objects, can I give a hint?
Oh.
And then somebody will say, no, blocking. So
Oh,
which
yeah.
means that-
I see.
I think you haven't played enough set by Paul. So Paul is known for that. Paul Pop, that is
Well,
there. Pop Puri.
It is a very India quizzing thing. It's also a very community thing. I remember being part of communities where blocking is not allowed. Like you don't. So it's part of the rule saying no blocking allowed. But of course that sentence makes no sense if you don't know what blocking is. What do you mean blocking?
Okay,
It's
just
a
realized
quiz.
what
What
it
do you
is.
mean no blocking allowed? So,
we do that here. We just say no clues, but
No
we don't
clues.
say no blocking.
Right.
We just say no clues. On our case,
Nice.
different terminology.
So Vijit, once they're familiar with the play and the director's craft of the scenes, they move to a stage where they perform the play from beginning to end. What hyphenated two-word term refers to the stage of rehearsals. The same term may be heard at the end of prelims in many live quizzes unless time is short.
Run through.
Run through, yeah. That's what it was.
Eric had forgotten. We have this is a run through. You can run through a play. You can also do a run through of the prelims after a quiz. Question again for Eric. What is the specialist job? He's in demand when the actors forget their lines. Incidentally, the same term also refers to the responsibility of memory readers to be used with great discretion.
Prompting.
Do you remember? I've been saying that. Sorry, I forget who's this is for. Subrat, right? Yeah. With a lot of quads, we've had this problem where one question plays disproportionately easy, not because the question is easy, but because of the placement. So once the whole quad has gone by and the word prompt has not been used, you know it's going to come. Like once you've understood where the quad is going, there's no way you made a quad without using the word prompt. So it had to come and it did. Prompt ended up playing much easier than the others, as you can see.
Oh, interesting.
In my game, what happened before the first question came, I told prompt. I did not even read that cold reading. No line per kick prompt.
Yeah. The minute you see a mimir somewhere, you're like, prompt is the nicest, juiciest word to make a question on. So why not? Okay, who's trying Egyptian hieroglyphs?
I will.
Karen's in every team. There you go. Perhaps the most famous of all ancient Egyptian symbols is which hieroglyph pictured here? Represents an entity of a god who lost it during a fight with Seth, but later he can recover it entirely.
Eye of Horus.
Eye of Horus is right.
This is the only one I knew in the chord, and I thought this was an only connect symbols chord.
Oh, same. Yeah, that's how I learned it. Only connect.
Oh, that's a nice.
I was really disappointed when it wasn't.
Yeah, good idea though. That's definitely not going to come next week. Question for Kiran. The canopic jars, always 4 in number, representing the 4 children of Horus, can be found around almost every mummy. What is its purpose?
Internal
I
organs.
was able to pick this up.
Sorry?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
This particular question is burned into my brain because one of the 4 gods is called Happy. It's H-A-apostrophe-P-Y. And
The
I read that
hippopotamus, right?
and I've never...
On my part, I was able to figure it because after watching The Mummy, that's how I got to know.
Exactly.
Nice.
Yeah.
I did not get that from any history book by just watching the movie The Mummy.
Keep going. Third question for Kiran. Which insect, common symbol in ancient Egyptian amulets, its nice proportions lend itself to the symbol of the rising sun?
Carib.
Yeah, I also got this one. Also got this.
And fourth question for Kiran. Which Egyptian concept is this, often equated to the idea of spirit or soul, or more accurately understood as the essence of all being?
This was where I blanked out. It is Ka.
Yeah, this is tough because the Egyptian soul has like 3 parts, and I said the wrong part of it, which is like. It's the
I said you can say played much harder than the others.
Yeah.
My God, 2%.
Yeah, it's a 2%, just 4 answers. Somebody just messaged me saying there's no way you're finishing this within 1 hour. You're right. We're not finishing this within 1 hour, but we'll keep trying and we will call this whole thing off at.
I want to answer this one. I wanted to.
Yeah, I think Tejija is the right.
Yes, correct. Yes.
His hatred for sport does not prevent him from attempting this.
Wow, these are all people who got muskets?
No, these are all people who got miskets. So they got 3 out of 4.
Wow.
2 of them, Christopher and Shantanab, got muskets in this. Vivek, question for you. Which shot has been demonstrated to Ken Peterson? Yeah, we won't be watching the videos because.
Okay, this is switch hit.
Nicely done.
It is a switch hit. He's flipping around and he's switching his sides. He's switching from a left-handed batsman to a right-handed batsman.
I inflicted the entire video on whenever I read the quiz.
Of course, you should. You absolutely should. That was very much the intention of the questions.
But it was such a nostalgia trip. So nice to have collected this. Thank you.
It was placed. I'd like you to know that it was placed at a non-ascending thing. I think where because the idea is that everybody's going to get this, right? We just want to give people a fun quad. That's all. Question for Vivek. This question could have been stopped at Dhoni, literally here, demonstrated by Dhoni, and most people would have gotten it, right? Vivek, what's the answer?
Helicopter. And the only reason I got it because the person before me said helicopter for another one, and then I picked it up from there. From the action in the video.
I must say, in the quiz I just read now, I had a female contestant who actually worked out that it was the helicopter shot. She didn't know. She worked it out from the question.
So I'm sure somebody on the call will also have that story. The bat being circled overhead is a good clue. Did somebody work it out from that? Anybody? Okay, no. Most people.
Yeah.
With Dhoni, you know what helicopter.
Yeah. For those of us who know, we just know it. Yeah.
In the movie also they have put it in your head.
Yeah, and for this video, there was a longer version of the video which has a favorite moment of mine as well as Rajat's, and I'm sorry for cutting the video short to keep it a little timely. But I'll share
go watch the whole video.
Please watch the whole video. I'll put it
on
in the
YouTube
review also. Yeah, of course. YouTube.
Okay.
But this was helicopter shot. Question again for Vic. Which shot is this being demonstrated?
Scoop.
Scoop is right. Hi, Mera Pallu.
Nice.
Demonstration of
Vivek, you're on fire.
Oh, really?
And fourth question, what is being shown? Sehwag over here, the most famous example was by Sachin, not in the semi-final, but just in the World Cup against Pakistan.
Yes.
Uppercut.
Well done.
How are we doing?
Vivek, I'm now looking forward to a sports squad from you.
Oh, God.
He is making one. Anybody who asks, just let them know. Vivek is working on a sports friendly. We don't know when it will come, but it's coming.
Okay, good.
It can come at the end of this quiz.
It might come at the end of this. Kiran, Subhajit, and Eric, modern dating terminology. Somebody please give me answers whenever you're ready. What term refers to the act of leading someone on because you're too scared to reject them outright? This friendlier version of ghosting. I can stop there.
Yeah, Caspering.
Right?
The friendly version.
Do any of us actually have any real experience with this quad? Because
no,
I know this made me feel old for the first time in quiz.
I agree. But again, in a quiz I just read, I had two people who got 3 out of the 4 questions, and they were getting the answers because they knew from experience.
Yeah, and like people will know. Like quite a lot of people have messaged me after the quiz saying that they enjoyed this quad because they knew something about it. So
because they've done part of that. Oh my God, some of those strategies are brutal. Yeah.
What to do? Ajul, Kiran, Sujit, and Eric, what term refers to the act of keeping someone on the sideline?
Benching. Yeah.
Right.
They don't call that here.
Friend zoning.
Yeah. Well, it's in the entire quad. I'm dead certain these are not unique terms. There must be other terms that refer to the same thing. The strategy has to have more than one name. But so it's a dodgy topic to make a question about that way. But hopefully,
friend zoning means you have no chance ever. Benching means you have a chance.
Yeah, benching. No. Benching by definition means you do have a chance because that's the point of it.
You're on the bench. Kiran, Subhajit, and Eric, what term refers to the act of showing interest in someone sporadically by dropping little morsels of interest without ever really following through?
Breadcrumbing.
There's quite a lot. There's trail in the question, dropping little morsels.
Yeah, so a lot of people worked it out from the question. So whoever has written it very well.
Yeah, I worked it out. I no clue.
You have to because like somebody else said, these are all concepts, but there are certainly no definitive names for them. Therefore, you have to put enough clues that people can use the same word to describe it that you want them to. Okay, lockdown unfortunately sends you in many directions. There's so many valid answers. Snowed in, there's quarantine, there's all of them are valid guesses.
I went with Yuletide commitment or something.
No.
Somebody give me the answer, please.
Cuffing
is right.
But what is the connection to winter season there? That was a total red herring.
Myself, but I never realized that there are these terminologies. They had to come up with these terms. It's simply, you're just friend zone. That's plain and simple.
Cuffing is so tough.
Cuffing is pretty tough. For Argots, anybody who wants to take this? Sorry, I'm going.
Pat is here. Pat, let Pat take it.
Pat, help us out, please. First question: in which form of Argot in the English language are words altered by moving the initial consonant to the end with an A sound?
That's Pig Latin.
Pig Latin is right. Question for Pat again. Tutanese or Tutahas was an argot created by which demographic? This is a fun question, but it's a little harder than it needs to be. Who created this argot? It was no longer required after the late 19th century.
American slaves.
That's right. African American slaves were not allowed to learn how to read or write. So this was an argot created for covert learning. It's a great concept. I think we framed it to be a little harder than it needed to be. More clues could have been added because more people would have picked it up and felt great about themselves. But it's a little harder than it needs to be. Which argot refers to a specific group of people who use it? An example is Britney Spears refers to beers.
Cockney rhyming slang?
Yes, correct. Nice. My objective with this quad was to try and say everybody's names in those argots. So, for example, if the question in the quiz is for Shreyashi, I'd say Yashi Shre, and say that out. But that strategy breaks down as the quad goes on because you can't say Teutonese; it sounds terrible. And Cockney, most Indian names don't rhyme in anything. If you're talking in English, then Indian names will not rhyme. And that's what Natsat is a type of linguistic slang from which black comedy novel?
A Clockwork Orange.
That's correct. Oh, I did something wrong, didn't I?
You finished all the quads?
Clearly haven't, but it's. Oh, that was the last quad. Did we actually finish with 10 minutes to spare? Yeah, apparently we did.
Nicely done.
Oh, I didn't even realize. It's always a sign of that we're having fun. So thank you, folks. This was our retro for the day. I'll be sharing the everything we went through, that is the data, the results from all the matches tomorrow, and you can expect draw mails to come later tonight or tomorrow morning. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.